Welcome to this coding tutorial. Today, we are going to explore how to generate Fibonacci numbers. This is a classic problem in computer science that helps us understand recursion, dynamic programming, and algorithm optimization. We will look at multiple ways to solve this, starting from the basics and moving to the most efficient method. First, let us define what the Fibonacci sequence actually is. It is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. The sequence typically starts with 0 and 1. So, 0 plus 1 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and so on. It is a simple pattern, but it grows very quickly. Mathematically, we can express this relationship with a simple formula. F of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. This means to find the current number, you just add the previous two numbers together. We also need base cases to stop the logic from running forever. F of 0 is 0, and f of 1 is 1. The most straightforward way to implement this in code is using recursion. Here is a JavaScript function that does exactly what the math says. If n is less than or equal to 1, we return an otherwise. We call the function recursively for n minus 1 and n minus 2 and add the results. It looks clean and simple, but there is a catch. Let us visualize what happens when we call this function for f of 5. The computer has to calculate f of 4 and f of 3. But to calculate f of 4, it needs f of 3 and f of 2. Notice that we are calculating f of 3 multiple times. As the tree grows, these redundant calculations explode. This is called overlapping subproblems. Because of these repeated calculations, the time complexity is big O of 2 to the power of n. This is exponential time. For small numbers, it is fine. But if you try to calculate the 50th Fibonacci number, your computer might freeze. The number of operations doubles with every step, making it extremely inefficient for large inputs. We can fix this using a technique called memoization. This is a top-down approach. We simply use a dictionary or an array to store the results of our calculations. Before performing a calculation, we check if we have already done it. If we have, we just return the stored result. This drastically reduces the time complexity to linear time, or big O of n. Another approach is to go bottom-up, also known as tabulation. Instead of recursion, we use a simple loop. We start with an array containing our base cases, 0 and 1. Then, we iterate from 2 up to n, calculating each new number by adding the previous 2 in the array. This avoids the overhead of recursive function calls entirely. We can optimize even further. Notice that we only ever need the last two numbers to calculate the next one. We do not need to keep the entire history in an array. By using just two variables, let's call them a and b, we can update them as we loop through. This brings our space complexity down to big O of 1, which is constant space. Here is a summary of the approaches we covered. The naive recursive solution is very slow with exponential time complexity. Both memoization and the iterative approach solve this, bringing time complexity down to linear time. However, the space-optimized iterative approach is the winner, as it uses constant space, making it the most efficient solution for this problem.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.